I had my same spot every day.
You can see the waves, though, right?
Oh, and that's the problem, is that Cabrillo overlooks the ocean.
Yeah.
And I'd look out the window and see it's glassy and there's lines, and I'm like,
I get it. Cabrillo's a good school, man.
It is great.
Good school.
We're rolling.
Oh, we're live?
Yeah.
Hey! Hi, guys. Didn't know we were here yet.
Show number 996.
No. 900?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't been paying attention.
Oh, no,
Well, 3 this week.
I know.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to the Off
And thanks to
Radio
everybody
Show.
came in this week. Ward Coffee family.
The Ward Coffee family was
Guy
awesome.
Kawasaki, who
Guy Kawasaki.
roasted me the whole show.
He did roast you. I took the book home and showed Lorna. She laughed. He roasted you in the book. Oh, my God.
It's Fred. I know.
Yeah, I couldn't even believe it.
Dude.
All right, well, you are an intermediate surfer. I'll admit it. It's true. Welcome back, everybody. Tonight, our special guest, Jimmy Panetta's back. Our Congressman. I mean, I feel like your off-lip radio show royalty. Thanks for being back.
He's on the top 10 who's going to be our 1,000th show.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
For the 1,000?
Yeah, the list. The top
Wow.
10.
Okay.
Well, maybe you can just roll them through. You all 10.
But
You all 10.
He did let us down lightly when the assembly gift certificate that we got.
Yes.
Is worth.
Hey, Gail Pellerin showed her recognition to the boardroom by providing that assembly recognition.
Yes.
So a lot of respect to GP there.
And
She's a good
Neil,
member.
and you may not know this, Jimmy, but we don't really endorse people on the show.
We endorsed her.
We endorsed her.
As you should.
Yeah,
As
because
you
she
should.
is
I
a
get it.
For one
great
reason only. Because I coached her daughter in high school soccer.
Well,
and she was a
you
pain
were
in the
on-
ass.
yeah.
And she was a pain in the ass.
Her daughter's a good athlete.
So,
Her daughter's
is that how it
a good
works?
athlete.
Yeah.
If you coached Jimmy's kids, then you would be endorsing Jimmy right now?
Yeah.
Exactly. Easy.
Oh, man.
Trust me, especially my daughters who are good athletes.
Well, first I want to start with something that I've been thinking about. You are busy. You chair a bunch of stuff. You're at a bunch of caucuses. One of your caucuses that you are on is the Cannabis Caucus.
Of course.
And when I saw that, I was like, the Cannabis Caucus. Like, what do they do? They smell it and make sure it's good? I mean,
I wish there was that much hands-on work in Congress when it comes to the things we do, but unfortunately we don't. It's more of an advocacy caucus, a way for members to get together, share information, in order to eventually do what's right when it comes to the legalization of cannabis. Obviously, right now with cannabis, it's all about the banking.
Exactly.
And so I think you're going to see a lot of leadership over in the Senate. Very few times I give the Senate kudos. Leadership, especially by Senator Schumer, in regards to basically making sure that we can allow safe and legal banking of the proceeds from cannabis.
it's dangerous.
Absolutely.
The current system is dangerous.
Absolutely. You hear about it all the time in regards to, people carrying loads of cash on them and how dangerous that can be.
We have a murder case in the court system here right now, where some kids kidnapped a grower, took him to his grow place, made him open the safe, and then they murdered him. And that's one of the problems that's going on with that. I thought you were like hanging out with Snoop Dogg, you and Snoop Dogg rolling them up, or like.
There may be some members who do that.
Okay.
I, unfortunately, don't have that opportunity to hang out with such royalty like Snoop Dogg.
Okay,
so.
well, that one caught my attention. I'm like, I want to be on
I have
that.
to ask you why you keep coming back to this to our show.
Oh, my God.
We don't have any,
We're not big donators.
Yeah, donators.
We're giving him socks.
It's true.
Yeah, exactly.
He comes back for the Merge 4 socks.
We've kept him in socks for the last.
I think with people watching just for the last 2 minutes understand why I come back, because of this atmosphere, being able to talk to you guys and being able to be honest with you guys. Yeah. It's a nice atmosphere in which we can actually have a good conversation, talk about the serious stuff, but not take ourselves too seriously.
What's this thing I saw the other day? FFA?
the Future Farmers of America, absolutely.
Future Farmers of America.
I'm a co-chair with Tracy Mann, Republican.
That's right, yeah.
And as you know, we have a lot of beauty in this district, but we also got some bounty, and that's our agriculture, especially as it extends all the way down to northern San Luis Obispo County.
Is that all directed here?
The caucus is, the FFA is throughout the country. We've got 95,000 FFA members, though, in California 800,000 throughout the United States.
Wow.
And so it's nice when these young men and women in high school who wear the blue jackets, as we all kind of grew up with, if you grew up in a rural area or not, and seen those types of FFA members. Look, it's about leadership and it's about the future of agriculture. And so we want to show them support in Congress. So it's nice for them when they come back to the Hill and storm their Hill and talk about FFA that they know they got support from congressmen.
We'll talk about the agriculture real quick. You said across the street we were having one libation about the hats that you wear. You're down there in Parkfield, right? one minute, and then next minute you're in Silicon Valley with suits and ties.
Yeah, no.
So you're out there with the Cowboys.
That's right. The 19th Congressional District stretches from South San Jose, with Lake Cunningham being the most northern part, up over into Santa Cruz, all of Santa Cruz County except Watsonville, unfortunately, and then down the Monterey County coastline to Cambria, and then all the way out to the Kern County border with the Tascadero being. You need to ask the Independent Commission on that one.
It used to be, didn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. I was proud
jam.
to have them.
Yeah.
I was proud to have the people of Watsonville. Unfortunately, this quote-unquote Independent Commission decided that Watsonville, Castorville, Salinas, San Benito, and the Salinas Valley was given to Zoe Lofgren, and I have the district that goes from San Jose, Santa Cruz, Monterey, northern San Luis Obispo County, which is a really good district in the sense that, like I said, we got the most beautiful congressional district in the nation, hands down. Any district that stretches from Big Basin all the way to San Simeon, that is the most beautiful congressional district. Yeah. But like I said, it's also got not just that beauty, it's got the bounty, it's got a lot of agriculture. I lost the salad bowl of the world, but I gained a lot of wine and steak there in northern San Luis Obispo
Yes,
County. So we're good with that. So it's a great district. Very proud to represent it and look forward to continuing to represent it in the 119th Congress.
Cool.
That's cool because you have Lake Cunningham, which is an awesome skateboard park.
That's right. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
Raging Waters.
Yeah,
Raging Waters that they're going to reopen. Thank goodness.
Which is great.
Yeah.
And then you, I know you recently you were in a Tascadero and you met my brother.
That's right.
Yeah, my
Thank you
brother
for
Kevin.
reminding me about that. Oh
he
my
was
God.
really happy because
That's
Kevin,
great. Yeah.
Kevin was like the volunteer man of the year in a Tascadero and runs the skate park. And
that was so cool.
He was super stoked to meet
thank you for reminding me of that. Yeah, that was wonderful.
He was very happy. I want to jump into something that we talked about just a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
It's what's going on in Congress. It's such
what's going on or what's not going on.
I feel like it's a dysfunctional family of people who don't talk to each other a lot. But the one big one I want to talk about is how the guys on the other side of the aisle complain about immigration, and you concede, and you, with the help of your colleagues, actually come up with something that they've been asking for, and they said no.
Yeah, this was, look, first and foremost, the immigration system's broke, unfortunately. It's broke because we haven't done anything on it since 1986, when Ronald Reagan actually leaned into it and passed an immigration reform bill, a comprehensive immigration reform bill.
I got my green card because of that.
Exactly.
Ronald Reagan saying,
right.
You've been here 5 years, you weren't a felon,
Yep.
pay your taxes,
Yeah.
you become a citizen of the United States. I'm like, oh shit.
Sign me up.
Yeah. And look, and that's still law. And those who are here 5 years basically get their green card and they get legal permanent residency and they go into the process to get their citizenship, which is great. But we all know that we have a number of people here who have come here who have contributed to our economy, contributed to our communities, contributed to our culture and what we stand for, especially on the Central Coast.
Right.
And so we should be working for our dreamers, for TPS recipients, and yes, for our farm workers who are doing jobs that no American will do. And so we understand that. But at the same time, you have to acknowledge that the border is a mess right now. And we're seeing record numbers come to the border who have gamed the system. What do I mean that they've gamed the system? They know that they use the asylum process to basically get into this country. So they come in, they claim a credible fear, they meet that initial low standard, then they're allowed to come in here and wait for their court date, which unfortunately is so backlogged right now. Yeah. It's like 5-6 years until their court date. So they come into to our cities, border cities, and now into New York and Chicago and other cities. And they really are draining a lot of resources that we need. And so that is where this supplemental package came in that we've been hearing a lot about lately, in which we know that we needed to fund our democratic partners, Ukraine, Israel, humanitarian aid for Gaza, and our partners in the Pacific to deal with the China problem. The Republicans said, okay, well, if you want that, we want something to do with border. We want to fix the border. We said, you bet, let's go. And so in the Senate, you had a very conservative member, James Langford from Oklahoma, and then Chris Murphy, Democrat from Connecticut, and Kirsten Sinema, independent from Arizona. All come to the table, negotiate for 4 months. And let me tell you, immigration is a very, very difficult thing to negotiate. Yeah. Very difficult. The fact that it only took them 4 months, I give them a lot of credit. But they came up with a package that actually didn't take the legs out from our asylum law that was still in place, but it made it more effective and efficient. It upped that initial burden a little bit more. You got to show a little bit more. And then it basically allowed them to come in, make those claims, but then if they didn't make it, they'd get sent back right away. So they wouldn't come in and drain the resources that unfortunately we're seeing with the tremendous amount of numbers. It also allowed the president to shut down the border if the numbers got too high. 4,000, 5,000, 4,000 optional, 5,000 mandatory on those numbers. So it was a very conservative deal that Democrats and Republicans in the Senate agreed to. But what happened? Donald Trump got involved. And Donald Trump likes immigration issue as a political issue. We saw that from the very beginning.
It's his campaign
when he
rally.
came down that golden escalator and then just railed on illegals, as he called them, coming into this country.
As his illegal wife followed him down the escalator?
That's right. And so, this is a guy who isn't about solutions. He's about politics, and he's about the issues, and immigration is his issue. And once he said that, without even reading the bill, once he said that deal is no good, you started saying Republicans in the Senate jump off. Yeah. And so they didn't pass it. So what happens? So then the Senate passes just a bill with just the supplemental funding. Okay? They send it over, and the Speaker of the House says, oh, wait a second, it doesn't have border. So this is what they are dealing with. This is what we are dealing with. This is what the United States of America is dealing with, in the sense that they are dealing with a party, a majority in the House of Representatives, that literally is kowtowing and caving to Donald Trump. And that is what creates the dysfunction that we're seeing. Now, look, at the same time, I have to compare the 118th Congress with the 117th Congress. Because, yes, the 118th Congress is about to become the least productive Congress in history of America.
Why is it least productive?
Because they're not able to get things done. Yeah. They're not able to. This majority is putting forward bills that are failing left and right because they can't get enough votes in their own party. They have a slim majority, and therefore when they put these votes forward, you have extremes. Their Freedom Caucus part of the Republican Party are voting no on everything. That's what they do. They come to Congress not to govern. They come to Congress to blow things up. And if they feel that they've compromised, then they feel they're not fighting hard enough. It's a weird mentality.
And how frustrating must it be with them trying to impeach Joe Biden instead of really governing the country?
Thank you for mentioning that, because not only did they not put the immigration bill forward in the Senate, the House then impeached Mayorkas. For nothing. And then obviously they're focusing on trying to impeach Biden. You're seeing the difficulties they're having with that because there's no, at least from what I've seen, no evidence that directly links President Biden to his son, who's going through some serious issues, as we all know, and have to admit he's kind of a train wreck. We all understand that. But look, that's his son, and that's what he's dealing with. But in no way did President Biden sacrifice, at least from me, I haven't seen any evidence showing that he's sacrificed the presidency or the vice presidency.
And if they had evidence
on behalf of
they would have had that out a year ago.
Absolutely.
And their credible witness just fell apart.
Absolutely. So this is kind of what they're spending their time doing. But like I said, in the 117th Congress, last Congress, I just got to remind people that we actually had a majority in charge that got stuff done. What do I mean by that? Look at the record. We passed the American Rescue Plan that got us through COVID and gave us the foundation to get through inflation. We passed the IIJA, the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, where past administrations only talked about infrastructure weeks. We gave you 10 years of infrastructure investment. During the pandemic, we realized how difficult it was to rely on other countries for semiconductor chips. We invested in the Chips and Science Act, $54 billion in making sure that semiconductor chips are built right here. And then we passed the largest investment in human history to reduce our carbon output in the Inflation Reduction Act, making sure that we incentivize the pivot to clean energy and clean transportation. Oh, and also in that bill, we made the ACA more accessible. We made it so that people on Medicare, our senior citizens, don't pay more than $35 a month for insulin and don't pay more than $2,000 a year in out-of-pocket expenses for their health care. These are the things that we did, in addition to a number of other things. The PACT Act, the Safer Communities Act, Juneteenth, a national holiday, Asian hate crimes codified as law. And let me, I got one more. I got one more. We codified same-sex marriage. We made that the law of the land. So these are the things that did get done, that can get done when you have a majority that's absolutely serious about governing and understands that we're not in the entertainment industry, man. No. We're in the governing industry. We're in the legislation industry. And so I hope going into this next election, be it on March 5th, be it on November, I think it's 8th, back in November of 2024, that people elect their representatives who are serious about governing.
It's crazy with the infrastructure that when that passed, people who voted against it got funding in their districts. I
love that you know these.
And then they took credit for it.
So awesome. They know this stuff. Exactly.
They take credit, and they're telling their constituents, "I did this," and they voted against it.
Exactly. That's so great. There was a member from Florida who literally got hammered. If you see the interview, she got hammered by an interviewer about that same issue, and she couldn't explain why she voted against it. And that's what happens when you just go by party line. That's what happens when you listen to Donald Trump. That's what happens when you're there for the politics and not the policies that affect people's lives.
Yeah, because, I mean, you're directly... Well, another one was in Colorado, because in Bobert, who voted no, there's a giant windmill company out there.
Can I just mention this guy right here?
Yeah.
Because I got to mention him. This is Jeff Littleton, who goes, "Fuck off, libtard. Democrats like you are running the USA." Dude. That's
sure.
What you got?
Yeah. And what does Trump have, 91 indictments or something? I mean, yeah.
You got double finger, too.
Hey, that's cool. Hey, all I can say, you know what? When people like that say that, all I can say is vote. Yeah. Just vote.
That's right.
Because if you vote, you can complain. If you don't vote, don't complain.
Right.
So vote. And if you don't like how the system works, then run an ad in the paper and try to change it. Write an editorial. You get that.
Absolutely.
Your district you have some very rural, conservative areas.
You bet. It's a very diverse district, as I explained. We got cow chips in San Luis Obispo to semiconductor chips up in San Jose.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we got. And so it's a very diverse district, but that's kind of what makes it fun. I couldn't imagine representing a monolithic district like some other districts throughout the country. And it really keeps you on your game, and you have to be able to understand both sides.
Well, you said something earlier that really cracked me up.
That's right.
Is that you show up and talk and discuss with people.
You have to.
You can't. You don't hide from this. You try. Like everyone in your district is included in what you think. No,
like I said, on Tuesday I was up in San Jose. Wednesday I was out in Creston in northern San Luis Obispo County. Then yesterday I was back up in San Jose, and then today I was up in San Lorenzo Valley and then Santa Cruz. That's the diversity of the district. That's the dynamism of the district and how spread out it is. But it's a great district. I love it. I love the people, and I love the policies that we're trying to create and to affect people's lives. And I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat, we serve you. That's what we do. And I cannot stress enough, one of the pillars of what we do is casework. So even if this guy who gave us the two fingers, you got a problem with the IRS, Veterans Affairs, Social Security, Medicare, the military, please know that you can come to my office. We serve everybody. That's what we do. We're that bridge to the federal government and back.
And it's amazing because, I mean, I'm not speaking specifically to him, but when someone does have a Veterans Affair, they come to you, you help them get it sorted out.
We try.
Suddenly you become their congressman.
Well,
you'd hope.
Yeah. Well,
it's.
I think that's kind of how like I said, I was fortunate enough to kind of understand the impact of this job on people's lives, and that's the best part of this job. Having a district director like Emmanuel Garcia here, who appreciates basically,
get over here,
that type of casework and making sure that when people come to our office with those personal issues, we serve them. Emmanuel's worked with me from the very beginning.
He was a grum.
Yeah.
I'm proud.
We we've known you for years now. Emmanuel's been your sidekick.
Yeah.
You recently got a promotion.
Yep.
What is your new title?
District director.
District director.
That's right.
Number one man.
Yeah, number one.
Is he packing again? He's packing?
He probably has a gun.
Don't ask him that.
But I gotta be honest here. Every time we hang out with you, we kind of are lollygagging around, having a great time, and he's always the one like, let's get out of here.
No, that's why he's good.
That's awesome.
Why he's good.
Yeah.
And you love to fish. I know that about you.
Yep. Like
And you were raised in San Diego.
born and raised in San Diego.
And where are you now living?
Santa Cruz.
In Santa
Went
Cruz.
to UCSC.
Oh, and you man the office here in Santa Cruz too.
That's right.
Does
Yeah,
that.
it's about 30 minutes from San Jose and about 40 minutes from Monterey. So
So if somebody locally needed to reach out and reach Jimmy,
Yeah.
they would initially reach
Definitely.
you, and you would sort of create that bridge a little bit?
831-429-1976, and yeah, any problems you have,
And
I'll be happy to connect you to the right people.
And Emmanuel, like I said, he's in charge of the district. People got to realize if you're in the 19th congressional district, you're probably in one of the few districts that has 4 district offices.
I saw that.
including not including the DC office. So we got one in San Jose, 841 Blossom Hill Road. We got one in Santa Cruz at the Civic Center. We got one in Monterey at the courthouse, and we got one in San Luis Obispo and Paso Robles at the train station. So it's a real spread out district, but I wouldn't expect people in Santa Cruz to drive all the way over to San Jose. Nor would I expect the vice versa in Monterey to go to Paso and Paso up here. So we felt it necessary to have 4 district offices. So he's got a lot of responsibility on his hand, making sure that they're
And
working.
congrats.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm being totally honest. You have acted professionally. Since the first day we have met you.
Exactly.
While we don't act professionally, you do. So good job. Yeah, that is fantastic.
No, but he knows his beers too. He picked out the good beers tonight.
Did he?
Oh yeah.
Scrimshaw's,
He knows his
I think
beers.
from San Diego, maybe.
Okay.
Behind is a good man. Behind the good man is a good woman, and your wife she's a judge in Monterey County,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah, she's a
Puts
judge.
up with you traveling everywhere over the place.
Oh my goodness!
And your kids.
You're telling me? Yeah, so our kids are
Did
amazing.
you ever talk with them way back when, going, okay, I'm going to be disappearing for like 12 years?
They just kind of got it.
did?
Look. I think when I was in the military and I was deployed to Afghanistan, they were 1 and 3, and so they remember that. And then when I came back and I took the job down in Monterey County on the gang team in the prosecutor's office, I was commuting back and forth because Kerry was a judge up in Oakland at that point. So I'd go down there, work during the week, drive back, and be in the weekend. And then now in this job, as you said, I work in D.C., but I come back here every weekend to make sure I'm in the district.
Still fly back and forth?
Absolutely. There's no reason for me to stay in
What's your
DC.
preferred airline?
I'm United.
I love United.
Yeah. Someone asked me what's my favorite app on my phone. My United app. Man, I rely on that thing. You know, whether or not the plane's on time, whether or not I got a good seat, whether or not someone's next to me in middle seat on the economy class or not. So
you haven't moved up to.
no, man. No, trust me.
You don't have enough miles
Trust me. I wish. No, I wish. No,
But,
it doesn't work that way.
United is a fabulous airline.
It's a good airline. They do a good job. Look, every airline has its issues, but it's just easier for me to kind of make that. And Monterey's a great airport. We've done a lot for their infrastructure, but I fly out of San Francisco
Eleanor
up and
just
over.
replied to what was that dude, Jeff Littleton. She's replied. She goes, keep your racist comment to your fascistic self. Go Jimmy Panetta.
Hey,
there you go.
Speaking of Go Jimmy Panetta, you're in an election cycle.
Yeah.
Yes.
And at the same time, you're trying to keep a dysfunctional Congress together and have this giant district. Is it tough to juggle that right now?
Absolutely. I mean, look, absolutely. But the fact is what people ask me like, oh, it's you got the campaign coming up. Are you working harder? I'm like, no, man. I don't go up during the campaign season and come down. I'm always up here. And you can ask Emmanuel. Like, we're always right here because to me, good governing is good politics. That's what it's about. So no, I continue to make sure that when I'm in the district, I'm not home. I'm out in the district, especially with the new district, 55% new voters. And so we got to make sure that we show up. That's the most important. Look, 75% of any job is showing up. It's 95% of this job. This
is off Jimmy Panetta's website. I printed this.
What is this stuff?
It is all of the shit that you do. It is literally, this is all your caucus chairs and then all the committees that you're in.
Ways and means,
and then your traveling is on there and meetings that you're doing.
Yeah.
And if you don't think Jimmy Panetta is representing our district, go to the website and read. this is braggy stuff. I know.
No.
I mean, I am bragging for you, but I mean, you are on the Ways and Means Committee, right?
Yeah, good committee.
The House Committee on Armed Services.
Because all of our military installations, 15,000 jobs, 1.4 billion to the economy locally. There's a lot of people who wouldn't like to have that here or contribute to our defense budget. I get it. But the fact is that budget helps our jobs and helps our friends and neighbors who work at our installations.
Absolutely.
Right here. Yeah.
The Committee on the Budget.
Budget Committee as well.
Are you guys? Do you want to choke everybody right now?
That's look. The Budget Committee has come a long way. Trust me, they didn't do much the last couple of years, but this year with the chairman, my classmate Jody Arrington from Texas, and Brendan Boyle, a ranking member from Philadelphia, they actually work very well together. So we've actually passed some good bills out of budget that shows that we're concerned with our budget, but more importantly, our debt and deficit as well, which is something with these high interest rates we got to be mindful of, because eventually, if we don't do anything about that, it's going to affect our economy. And more importantly, if we don't do anything about our debt deficit, it's going to affect Social Security, because that's automatically going to be cut in 2032 by 21%. And so we got to step up and start having some serious conversations, and that's why I voted for the Fiscal Responsibility Act that basically makes sure that Democrats and Republicans and experts come together and talk about how we can reduce our debt deficit and shore up our Social Security. And so that's why I voted for it. I wasn't many Democrats who did. I did, because I felt it's important that let's at least have these conversations right now. And we got to protect Social Security, and this is one way to do it.
It's so important.
What's been the hardest rock for you to push up the hill?
Oh, God, legislation is tough. Passing legislation can be very difficult. Now, we've done pretty well, and because I've been on Ways and Means and on the Armed Services Committee, that basically we've had our standalone bills and we attach them to a larger vehicle, like the NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act, or like the Inflation Reduction Act, or the American Rescue Plan. Some of these bigger bills that we're able to pass, we were able to get our legislation in that because of the committees that I'm on, which is good. But standalone legislation can be pretty tough. Yeah. But, it can't stop you from introducing it. So we got some pretty good bills. I'm focused right now on housing, affordable housing. In the 19th Congressional District, that is the number one issue.
I've never met anybody. No one's come up to me and go, "Hey, Neil, I have an affordable house at low interest." I haven't met anybody yet. I think I did the other day. I think Matthew Sminison has one.
Does he?
I think so.
He has an affordable house?
You got to give it to him.
Yeah.
If someone gave it to him.
Living
living with his parents.
Well, affordable housing in Santa Cruz, I believe, is only 20% below market. And so, which is still extraordinarily expensive. We're the highest market in the country.
Well, and for renters as well. I mean, it's the highest place to rent in the nation, unfortunately. Right. And so we introduced this bill called the Rental Relief Act that says that if you're paying over 30% of your income towards your rent, you should get a federal tax credit at the end of the year. I also introduced something that I think is very relevant to a lot of people who've owned homes a long time. It's called the More Homes on the Market Act, bipartisan bill. Democrats and Republicans
you can
support
sell them
it.
and not pay capital gains.
Absolutely,
yeah, that's
but not
nice.
too much. Exactly.
Right.
So right now there's an exemption that's $250 as a single filer, $500,000 as a joint filer. That was created in '97. We know well that there's so many people, especially around here, that have owned their homes for so long, the price is shot through the roof. If they sell that, they'll take a big hit on their nest egg. We want to protect that nest egg, sell that home, and keep some of it through a tax exemption by doubling those numbers that I talked about, and then basically allowing more homes on the market, hence the name of the bill.
Well, and that's how you fill bedrooms.
That's right.
Because, as you soon know, you're going to have empty nesters.
Yeah.
You're going to have empty bedrooms.
Absolutely.
And that's in Santa Cruz. I can't even imagine the thousands of empty bedrooms
That's right.
that are here.
Yeah,
the other one I like is here in Santa Cruz County, they've been really pushing for ADUs.
Right.
And having a design that is like a over-the-counter permit and make it easy.
Make it more, this way it opens up more rooms.
Right. Because I feel like what we're missing specifically in Santa Cruz is entry-level housing, which generally is studios and one bedrooms.
Yeah, and part of that is, at least from the federal government, we don't really deal with ADUs, but like what we're trying to do is like more tax credits to incentivize the development. Now, whether or not they develop in Santa Cruz, that's up to the locals. We don't want the federal government telling them where to develop and how to develop and so forth. But at least we want to incentivize the development. Yes, low-income housing. We appreciate low-income housing. We want more of it. But the problem is we have too many people who work here who don't qualify. They make too much for low income. So I introduced a bill with Senator Ron Wyden of Oregon, who's on the chair of the Finance Committee, the middle income housing tax credit, the workforce housing tax credit, because we have too many people who work here who don't live here. They're commuting in, and we want them to spend more time in our community and not in their commute. And so this workforce housing tax credit is something we're going to continue to push forward.
My last point is to think here with, I think it was AT&T talking about landlines.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you did.
All right.
Yeah.
What's going on?
It was great. We had a good.
Are they going to supply these people with cell phones?
Well, this is the issue. Look, you got like you said, my district is very diverse. Right. You got goes down to Big Sur all the way up to San Lorenzo Valley. But as you know, there's a lot of nooks and crannies there where people live, and it doesn't have cell service, and so therefore those people who are in those vulnerable areas, especially in these storms and natural disasters. They need those landlines. Right. Now we've been once the AT&T applied to pull the plug literally on those landlines, we immediately got in their butts and said, no, you can't do this. And so they are stepping up, and they're having town halls. AT&T are having town halls about the process and what that takes, and why there's going to be certain exemptions because of our pushing in Big Sur, in San Lorenzo Valley, so that they don't pull those landlines.
Don't have phone service.
Absolutely, and cell service doesn't reach in those nooks and crannies, like I said.
It's such a health hazard. I mean, like my mom fell and broke her hip.
Absolutely.
She didn't have her phone.
Absolutely.
I mean, I couldn't even imagine some of the older folks up there with medical emergencies.
Yeah. No, we had a good town hall today up in San Lorenzo Valley where we had all the internet companies, Cruzio especially, AT&T, a number of T-Mobile, Verizon. They were all there. We had state, local, and federal government representations, and then we had those who are going to be implementing the funding from the infrastructure bill for rural broadband as well as something that's important too.
Jimmy, thanks for coming on the show.
No, it's always, dude, you guys are the best.
Well,
great. Trust me, I love being here.
I know you're always on a tight schedule. Emmanuel's over there checking his numbers right now. He's like, we got it the road.
I got another event.
I know you have another event.
A nice little event down in Watsonville.
We love catching up with you.
Second harvest.
We honestly love having you in here.
Trust me.
And I think maybe we got him in the top 5 now for the 10th. Okay, we're moving them up.
Like I said, I think you should just do a bunch of them. Roll them through. That'd be great. That'd be great.
I always say the winners are the ones who try. And you're a winner, and our community appreciates you.
I appreciate that.
There's always going to be one that's going to throw the birds, but
of course.
I honestly, we get a lot of politicians on the show, and especially during the election cycle, and it's pretty obvious to know and see the people who are in it for the right reasons. And I really feel like you are.
No, I appreciate that.
And that is not based on your party. It's based on your love of your district and this country.
It's home, man.
Yeah,
I'm so glad I grew up here and have that kind of connection and that appreciation, not just for what we have here, how lucky we are, but look, living here, and I think all of us can admit this, there's some certain responsibilities that come along with living in this community. And
take care of the community.
Exactly, and protect our environment, but also first and foremost, look, let's play a part in our democracy in this community. Let's vote. Everybody's got to vote. Like you said, I don't care where you are on the political spectrum. Please,
like
please,
TC
please
says,
vote.
if you're going to complain, vote.
Exactly.
No, even if you're not complaining, vote. That's how I look at it. No. Let's vote.
Jimmy, thank you so much. Emmanuel, congratulations on your promotion. We really... I know that you've earned that. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, to the Off Lip Radio Show. We appreciate you, T. Fox, putting us on Santa Cruz Waves. Thank you. Neil, great show. Jimmy, great to have you. And next week?
John Laird, Kristen Brown from Cats. She's vying for
supervisor. Yep.
Great.
And
we got more. We'll talk to you guys next week on the Off Lip Radio Show. Good night for now.